Hey everybody, today is Thursday, October the 2nd. Afternoon recording today, 3:40 because Nabil had to go mold the minds of children today. And then Mark is also here who had nothing going on.
You probably molded some minds, I bet.
No.
Did you mold any minds today?
I tried to take a nap, but...
I also did not get a nap because of my roommate.
I didn't get a nap.
Very, very noisy. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
That's a problem.
Anyway.
Sounds like we got a lot
But
of
it's nice
problems.
that you're both retired now.
Okay. Well, the first segment today is going to be our continuing saga of the gender studies class at Syracuse University. Now, this week...
I feel enlightened.
Yeah, you look enlightened. This week, I was sent a video that's on YouTube. We're going to kind of show clips of it because it's a half hour long, and your attention span is probably 7 to 8 minutes, according to our analytics. So we're going to try to keep it a little quicker. But basically, the title of the video is Raised Without Gender. So basically, there was a documentary, and it was recorded in, I think, Sweden or Switzerland? Sweden, I believe. And it was about two parents. One of them is trans, a trans man, and one of them is a woman.
One family?
One family. And they have two children, and they're not teaching them gender. They are teaching them that they can be basically whatever they want to be. So, there's a couple parts we're going to pull up of this video. We're going to watch it. Initially, it's in Swedish with subtitles. But one of the parents turns out to be an American, obviously, because we got to bring our shit everywhere. Ridiculous.
So this is a couple. These two parents are a couple.
It's a couple,
They're
yes.
Co-parenting or
Correct.
whatever.
And there's going to be one part that is going to anger everybody that watches this, even if you don't fully agree with our views on this.
Our meaning?
I think we're pretty consistent with our views, except for maybe
privilege
with our privileges brought up. And then after the video, we're going to go over 3 or so questions that the class was asked to respond to. So let's start out at the very beginning. We'll play the very beginning of the video.
There's no popcorn in there, is there?
No, that's not a popcorn bucket. That's a Call of Duty bucket that makes a lot of noise when you open it up. It's fun.
Ooh.
We'll show you at the end.
Now I want to open it.
Well, eventually we'll be able to.
There's water.
Okay. All right, I'll start the video, and then you can, I'm going to stop, we can talk about it, and then I'll find the next segment we're going to throw in.
Okay.
Here we go. First, I'm going to put AirPlay on, because obviously I didn't hit that yet.
We're not going to be able to hear it.
We're going to AirPlay it, and then we're going to go to the game room. Then we're going to go back to this. Start that over.
Are we going to edit any of this?
This is going to be heavily edited.
Förra somras så kom det liksom jättemånga barn och liksom bara sa till mig, är du kille eller tjej, är du kille eller tjej? Svarade liksom ingenting. Sen så svarade jag att jag var båda.
Sweden is the most forward-thinking country in the world when it comes to questioning gender. The gender-neutral pronoun hen is now commonly used by most Swedes.
What?
Government-funded gender-neutral kindergartens often spark controversy in the foreign press. With recent victories for the trans rights movement, and more young people defining something other than male and female than ever before, I'm curious to find out what it's like to grow up without the gender binary.
So I've just arrived in Örebro in Sweden. I'm about to go meet a family who are attempting to bring up their kids free from all gender norms. Hello, Amelia, nice to meet you. How are you?
This is Nico.
Hello.
This is Margareta,
Amelia,
and
nice
this
to meet
is
you.
Mika. Margareta is my partner's mother.
And where's your partner?
At work.
Okay.
Yeah, somebody's got to bring home the veggie bacon. So this is our humble abode.
I love the artwork.
Yeah, this is Mika and Nico's artwork.
Dirty bacon.
Mama, is that your partner?
Yeah, my partner goes by Matilda and Matt, but is also the one who gave birth.
Okay.
And I'm Mapa. It's just what felt right to me because I'm intersex. I was born with characteristics of both male and female, even though my body didn't develop along more masculine lines until puberty. And so, yeah, my partner is not trans, strictly trans, but we share the same values, that gendering is harmful.
Dell is an American photographer who moved to Sweden for love. Their work has, for over 3 decades, focused on queer identities and challenging gender norms.
Let me show you around the house.
Yes, please.
You can see the kids'
Thank you.
bedrooms. This is Nico's room.
And how old is Nico?
Nico's 2.5.
And Mika is...
Almost 5.5.
Mika and Nico were both assigned male at birth, but in this family, the sex you were born with does not dictate your gender identity.
We don't gender toys, we don't gender colors, so whatever they're interested in.
It's like they can just play with whatever toys they want, and
Yeah.
you would never dictate what those toys were.
No, absolutely not. So they both have a lot of cars, and they both have dolls.
And what about with clothing?
Right now, Mika is, for the past 2 months, has worn a dress every day, just about. When Mika's wearing dresses, and because Mika has very, very long hair, most people assume that Mika's female.
If someone called Mika female in front of Mika, would you correct them or intervene?
No, we've never corrected anybody. In fact, if people call
nice, at
Mika
least.
she, we might go with that too. We use he for them. Sometimes it's mixed, and it depends, you know, because in Sweden we have hen, the gender-neutral pronoun in Swedish. I think Mika has always said when I've asked, it's been she or hen. We
Confused
basically
about what
avoid
pronouns to
using
use, I decide to call Mika and Nico
kids
by their
and children.
names.
Did you hurt yourself, my love?
I got a boo-boo.
Did you get a boo-boo? Should I kiss it? Blow on it?
Blow.
Okay.
And footnote, these kids are
Is
adorable,
that better
Yeah,
now?
they're both cute.
by the way.
Yeah, I think so too.
How do you avoid gendering your children?
We didn't choose anything but gender-neutral names. We chose not to know what sex they would be assigned when they were born. Not answering the question, is it a boy or a girl? To avoid the B word and the G word. Changing pronouns in books. Instead of it always being mama, we say mama and mapa. What's the matter, sweetie? Asks mapa. It's so dark. Don't be afraid, says Mapa. I'll call the lanternfish. Sleep tight, little rainbow fish. This is good. I got it 50%
Okay, so
off.
let's discuss this first section real quick. What are your initial thoughts on the video so far? Anybody?
Well, I've had one thought. It doesn't necessarily have to do with what we just watched, but these two children, they grow up. Say, it doesn't matter the age really, but they turn to Mapa, and I forget the name of Mapa's partner.
Mama. I think it
And
was
say,
Mama
hey,
and Mappa.
Mapa, you know, I was born a male, and that's kind of what I wanted to identify as going forward. Will they get like any
Like pushback?
pushback from their parents, you think?
It's hard to say.
It sounds like
From these two,
Do you know what I
these
mean?
two that
Yeah.
are raising,
Yeah.
doesn't
sounds like
sound
they're very
like it.
open-minded.
Yeah.
The one thing that I did like,
Like
that
they
she
want
was
them
just
to be
saying
able to
that,
choose regardless of what they are.
Okay.
So I would think no, but you never know.
and I did like that they said they're not correcting other people
Right,
when
that's
they're
cool.
dressing them, which is nice at least.
Yeah.
I don't know how you avoid all gender all the time.
Now, would you
but-
guys say you agree
I thought
with this parenting method?
I think
this-
it's none of my business to tell a parent
Right.
how to parent, but I would say that it's a little confusing to say that you're not gendering, and then he went out of his way to say later in the closet or whatever, he's like, oh, we use like he. And I'm like, well, which is it? Are you not gendering, or are you saying he? Like, that's what I heard. I mean,
He
like,
said they're using hen.
I heard hen and he.
They did say he once.
Yeah.
At one point.
That just, I caught it and it confused me. But maybe it was a mistake, or maybe they meant to say hen and they said he. I don't know.
It would be tough. Go ahead.
They're so young. Does it even come into play with them?
I don't think that's
where
the
my thought is.
problem.
That's my
Like-
biggest problem with this. Why put this
just-
extra burden on these kids that
Right.
aren't even thinking of this?
They're just trying to be kids. Have
Now,
fun.
when they said they let their kids play with every toy, every parent does that. You don't. I'm not going to yell if I had a son. I would not yell at my son. Oh, why are you playing with a doll?
You wouldn't, but some might.
So, that may be. There's going to be
There are
extremes
people
on
that
both
freak
sides.
out either way.
But
Yeah.
for them to make that generalization on this is a little offensive to me.
My dad growing up would yell at me for playing with boy action figures just because he said it was a waste of money.
Oh wow!
But that's and
look how that turned out. Now you're a comic book.
And they're not saying
but I
that.
don't open my toys.
That's true. Keep them sealed.
They're not saying how anyone else should do it either.
That's true.
I mean, the one thing, like I said, that I did like was that they're saying they're not correcting others.
Right.
So if you can do the things you want to do, I don't know how it's going to affect their children. I'd like to see this.
See, that's my problem. Is my biggest issue is how does it affect these kids?
Well, that's what I was going to say. I would love to see this in, like, say, 10 years or so, or 15 years, and talk to these kids.
This is 8 years old.
I'd like to see I
where
don't know
they're at
when
now.
it's appropriate to interview the children about this.
Well,
but
the comments in this are, I think, very similar to how we think.
Good.
But a lot of them are like, please update us because we would like to see where these kids are.
Yeah, exactly.
Now this kid's going to be 13 years old.
Yeah.
And now, do they ever say how they were gendered at birth?
Yeah, they're both boys.
He said they were both boys at birth.
Yes. Now, the next part...
Or they had characteristics of boys, something like... It was like...
No, they
I think they did say
that
boys.
they were
I
both
thought they
they're
did.
boys on the birth certificates. Now, the next part, they're going to be interviewing this person's significant other's mother.
Yeah, the lady
who kind of slightly has... It looks like a little bit of a problem with the way this is being done.
Well,
so let's see what she has to say.
Sen så svarade jag att jag var båda. Tycker du att jag har målat bra?
I just found it. It's going to be coming up in a second.
Tack.
Ooh, Star Wars.
Oh, what is that on the wall?
Grandma Margareta arrives to take Nico to the park. She didn't seem convinced about the gender aspect of Dell's parenting, so I want to find out how she really feels.
Nico, he told me today I'm a boy, so I think he really knows what he is. And I hope that when Mika feels that he's really a man later, that he has no problem to be a man then.
You said when Mika feels that he's a man. Do you think when Mika's older, Mika will feel that they're a man?
I don't know. He likes flowers and he likes pink, but he's always playing with cars. If you give him a doll, he's not so interested.
But he does like wearing dresses, so maybe he'll always like both. Do you think that could create any problems?
That's a question. Does he like to wear dresses? Or does Dell like that he wears dresses?
Right.
So that Dell has always said, "Hey, look, I have bought a nice dress for you. Won't you try? I don't know. Sometimes you're worried about how will it be in school for Mika when he comes with dresses and long hair, and would he get one on his nose from the other children? Of course, I'm worried about that.
I mean...
All right, so obviously...
From what they're saying, though, they say this was Sweden.
Yes.
They said it's like a very forward-thinking, progressive country where they even created their own word for non-binary, basically.
Right.
So would he really have to worry about getting bopped in the nose at school unless he moved to another country?
Do you want my honest opinion?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I would think absolutely.
Well, I wonder now in the way they're doing. I know they're trying to do it all neutral. But does that mean, like, discouraging if the boy said he's a he?
Well,
I know the grandmother just said that he said.
I watched this whole video, so I know what's coming up. And this next section that we're going to watch is towards the end of the documentary, and it's going to explain a lot of what you're asking.
And like the grandmother said, I don't know, because I haven't seen this at all.
Right.
But could they accidentally be subliminally getting the children, affecting them by, like she said, like if you're buying dresses,
I think,
or does the child get to pick out any clothes he wants in any department?
That specific question is going to be answered.
Oh, good.
And you're going to see.
In this
documentary.
Good.
Now, when I was looking for this video on YouTube, there were a few other ones from the United States that do the same thing. Not as articulate as this one, but it's not only happening in Sweden, it's happening here as well.
Oh, I'm sure. These aren't the only two people doing this.
Correct.
But I would think that as careful as they think they're being, your biases are going to come into this. You're subconsciously going to be influencing your children. with your opinions.
Well, let's watch this last section. The last section is like 4 to 5 minutes. So we'll watch it
45 minutes?
4 to 5. I know you're a boomer and you can't hear what I'm saying.
Oh, boy.
Because you're the only one with no fucking headphones on. But
well, it's because I want to hear this.
I can hear it just fine with my headphones on.
But it's not coming through the headphones. So why do you have the headphones on?
There's a microphone right next to the TV, and we're getting off topic. All right. Anyway, I'm going to play this last section, and then we're going to have a full-length discussion with the questions that were sent to the class.
Meeting. So I will get to meet the parents of the kids who Mika will be going to school with. And it's very important to me that they understand when their kid comes and says, Mika has a mapa. What's a mapa? To they say, no, that's Mika's papa. I don't want them to do that. So I have to write a letter. Dear parents, Mika, our soon-to-be 6-year-old child, has a varied gender expression and 2 parents, a mama and a mapa. We are non-binary, part of the larger trans-masculine spectrum. See, the problem with this is I doubt that they even know what any of this means.
I don't even really know what trans-masculine spectrum is.
Oh, really?
I'm supposed to know about these things.
Okay. Let me explain further.
You could hyperlink out.
Okay. What I really want y'all to know is that I promise not to discriminate against you on the basis of either your sexuality or your cisgender.
Your heterosexuality.
Yeah, okay. You may not have ever heard about MAPAs, but now you have. Yeah.
While the language around gender identity has evolved to include more people, to those unfamiliar with these terms, it can be difficult to grasp.
How do you feel about them leaving the environment that you've quite carefully created for them?
There is a big bad world out there, and the prospect of Mika in particular being bullied because of their gender expression, of course I don't want them bullied. And of course it scares the hell out of me. But I think that they have the tools to deal with it, and we talk about it. My job is to create the framework from which they feel safe and they can go out from.
But a lot of people would say you're deliberately bringing up your child to not fit in with the norm, and that could be dangerous for them. What would you say to that?
I would say you're absolutely right. People raise their children to be just like them, so we're doing nothing different. We're absolutely ordinary in that way. Let me just say, they are both assigned male at birth, they're both white, they're both able-bodied, they're intelligent, they've got a full knapsack of privileges. So
there it is.
They have to deal with a little bit of discomfort because they have a mapa, or because their gender expression doesn't match what other people think it should be. Gender confusion is a small price to pay for social progress.
It sounds like from some of what you said, you're kind of trying to bring them up with an antidote for the amount of privilege they've been born with.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to strip them of their unearned privilege. I think a lot of the social problems we have in the world are down to the streaming that we force boys this way and girls this way.
Yeah.
Some of us have escaped those systems of regulation.
And the rest just goes into a parade that they attend.
Well, so they are correcting people.
Yes. And what he specifically said was that if they got to go through some turmoil because of how we're raising them, so be it. What parent would ever intentionally put their kid in harm's way like that?
Lots.
That's disgusting.
But like they're saying,
all the time.
The one thing that they said was, we're raising them to be like us.
Correct.
Which is what people do.
Not necessarily.
You do bring your children up to be like, yeah, you do.
I mean,
think about,
not really. I think you bring your kids up to be normal.
Yeah, think about every parent who ever like laid their hands on their kid because their kid like didn't want to do the thing that they asked him, like, hey, let's go hunting. I don't want to. Bam, like, you know what I mean? Like,
I wouldn't think that happens as often as you would think.
Well, I'm saying like it's generational though. There's different things that like there might be kids and parents clashing over where the parents get like, well, you know what? I'm telling you to do this because I'm your parent and you're going to deal with it. And this is just a different version of that. Is what I would say.
But
it is drastic. I'm not saying I agree with doing this the way they're doing. Don't get me wrong for that. But I think that people do bring their kids up the way to identify like them.
I 100% agree with that statement.
And like even as far little things like sports, if you like a sport, you're going to bring your child and expose them to that sport because you like it.
Yeah, but you bringing your kid up to like a sport that you like isn't going to get their ass kicked at school because
unless it's ballet,
it's not going to confuse them to a point where they don't even know what they are.
Well, right. I know that. So what we would say is the majority of people who like teach their children about things that they liked aren't necessarily going to like put them through harm, right?
Correct.
But some parents might, and we're not agreeing with it. We're just saying it's a thing. It happens.
Well, so what's your opinion on what these two are doing to their kids?
I think they are.
I think it's
putting their opinions on their children more than they realize they are. You know, they're so worried about the gender expression stuff in any way, shape, or form that they're going to almost push them in the opposite direction of any normality.
And it sounds like that they don't care if their kids are sacrificed for the cause.
I didn't hear that.
That's exactly what she said.
Small price to pay.
Small price to pay.
Growing up with
some discomfort, she said.
Being born with
would you ever intentionally put Chris in an area where you know it's gonna be horrible for him, but you're trying to push your own cause? Would you ever do that as a parent?
Well, no, you're saying cause. So what do you mean?
That's exactly what they're doing.
But what do you mean for what would you mean by cause?
You have a white supremacy cause. So now, Chris,
I'm sure white supremacists.
Okay, I'm asking you.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about. I'm talking about you. Would you intentionally make him wear a white robe? It's hypothetical. Would you do that to your son? Yes or no?
Well, no.
Okay,
because it's not my thing.
But and I know it's not your thing.
I know. I'm trying to think of something that even comes close. I can't think of anything. I know what you're saying.
My opinion is that is absolutely disgusting, and those people should not have kids. Sorry. If you're going to intentionally sacrifice your kids, because that's exactly what it sounds like to me, if they have to have discomfort to forward our cause, is fucking disgusting.
Did she say that?
That's exactly what she said.
Oh, I didn't even catch that.
Oh, my God. I don't know. Well, I don't know where you guys are. I just went on a little rant there.
That's all right.
You get a little hot.
Yeah. I mean, what's your opinion? If you have an opinion, throw it out.
I think these kids, like any kid, should be able to grow up as a kid. And if that's the way their parents are going to be, that's fine too. And once the child gets of age to say, "Hey, what the heck's going on here?" They need a real explanation, not their agenda.
Correct.
Like, you know, when they're 2-3 years old, they're both born as boys, right? Males. Like, they're not picking out their outfits every day.
No,
like those two.
The mother is.
That's what I mean.
Well, that's like what the grandmother said about them. Like, if you're buying them dresses, I mean, if the kid says that's what I want to wear on a shelf somewhere, that's different.
Right.
But if you're bringing home dresses and going, oh, do you think this is pretty?
Yeah.
Put it on. I mean,
this whole thing
then you are
just like that. It's just like them influencing their basically infant, toddler children to reflect how they want society to see them.
So now what are these questions?
Well, here's the questions.
Oh, okay.
This is the questions that the class was given about this video.
After they watch this.
Yes. Now, this term I don't really understand, so we'll read question 1. It says, what stood out most about how the school queered everyday routines? How do you connect the reading with the film, which provides a lived example of queering gender? We didn't get any of the reading material for this. Okay. So we're going to probably have to skip. I don't even understand when they say queered everyday routines. I don't know what that means. Does that mean when they
missed the part where they were in school?
Are they talking about?
We probably skipped over the school part.
I didn't see the part.
Okay, so they're not talking about their house
with
being
the
the
reading
school.
And the podcast.
So they must have a podcast for this too. I'm assuming. They're not talking about us, Nabil. No, I'll skip 1 because we don't have the material for that. 2, what people are saying when they say a biological, then they say biological is actually reproductive or fertility, and that reduction of men's bodies to their reproductive role is misogyny. How do you interpret this quote, and what does it reveal about the limits of how society defines biology? Society doesn't define biology. How you were born defines biology. You have an XX or an XY. It has nothing to do with your genitalia. It has to do with the chromosomes in your body.
Well, that's the definition.
Yeah. So when they say something like that, I mean, what's the point? Because it has nothing to do with biology. It has to do with people's opinions of themselves.
I'm just reading through it again.
You guys trying to reinterpret
I'm
that
trying to understand what they're asking us, yeah.
Well, at some point, they must have said that if she's talking about men's bodies and referring to their penises just is a reductive role that's considered misogyny, which I don't honestly think has anything to do with any of this.
So, and what does it reveal about the limits of how society? So they're saying like a biological male, all you're getting down to is his role in reproduction. Is that what they're saying?
Apparently, that is how they see society as defining biology.
I would say that the interpretation of the quote, if to be taken that way, is simplistic. That, you know what I mean?
Very simplistic, yes. And just like I said, if you're just boiling it down to your reproductive or fertility responsibilities, I don't know, man.
There's more to biology for either gender than that.
Well, like I said, now liberals are basically, they're the ones that always say believe science. Well, especially when they talk about climate change and anything like that. Believe the science. Believe the science. But when it comes to biology, now there's an issue with science. This is what I don't understand.
I believe the science.
So do I. The science is the science. It is what it is. So why? I don't know.
So is there three? Is there a third one?
There is a third one. It's at the bottom.
What is is that the one of the people?
Alok and are the two kids.
Oh. No, that must be the parents.
The parents. How do Alok and Laverne reframe love and healing in the face of trauma? And what does this suggest for the feminist policy?
So we didn't get any of that.
No, I don't think that this has to do with the thing, because the name of the mama was Matilda, they said. Or they said Matilda or Matt is what my partner goes by.
Alok was the kid's name.
No, the kids were Mika.
Mika and Miko or something.
Yeah, right. This might have to do with like reading or something.
Yeah, something on the thing.
Yeah, but no.
Well, if they want to talk about how this,
we'd have to have context.
Well, I mean, if we can bring our own. How do you think this raising kids like this and with the trans issue? How do you think it affects like feminist policies?
What do you mean?
Like, how does basically like a trans person, a trans woman in a woman's sport? Because wouldn't you think that all the things that women have been fighting for all their lives are destroyed by allowing a biological man to just jump right into the fray?
Oh, but that's not.
No, that's not it. But as far as a feminist policy,
that's what a feminist would think.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So wouldn't a feminist kind of be opposed to that? Wouldn't you think?
You would think.
Well, there's lots of people opposed to it. So.
Well, we're asking specifically about feminists.
Where?
I'm just asking you.
Oh. I think they'd have to decide. Okay, well,
you keep pointing like this.
I think they'd have to decide whether or not they thought the success of all women, biological or trans, is more important, or the success of just biological women is more important, and then you could get your answer from that. You know what I mean?
Well, there's a lot of women who have spoken out against, obviously, trans women athletes.
Sure.
That's a whole separate big issue, but yeah.
I think the point is, I don't think there's it's not like a yes, no. It's like depends on, how you feel, right? If you're the woman that's getting like, boxed out because there's a trans person who's, physically built better than you for the sport that they're beating you in, you're probably going to be some kind of mad about it. And
I would think so.
If you're a traditional feminist, but you don't play sports, you might raise the rallying flag and say, hey, whoa, why are you trying to tamp down on this trans woman? She's got the right to run, same as you. So depends on who you ask, I think.
I could see that.
Generally speaking, it's about who's being affected by the thing you're talking about.
Well, how come, as far as that goes, how come we never see it go the other way? How come there's no trans men competing against other men?
Well, there probably are.
There are not.
But there's
zero on a professional, on a collegiate or professional level.
They might be losing to the men, though.
Of course, they would lose to the men because the men are biologically superior.
So they probably are trying, but not qualifying.
They might be complaining on the other side.
I would like
that could be easily. I'd like to
look this up and see if there's any.
You've got homework for gender studies, Steve.
Any notable trans men competing with other men at a quasi-professional level.
Well, it wouldn't have to be notable because they're just, if they're not succeeding.
But anybody could do it. But I'm saying, but as far as the other way goes, as far as trans women competing against women, there's quite a few that dominate the sports that they go to.
Right.
So why is it we never hear about anything the other way? It's all I'm saying. And isn't that kind of weird that it's only the men that are people that are born men going into a women's
No, because
sport?
Mostly when you hear about it, it's because the person that was
up.
born male and is competing in women's sports wins.
So
and then you hear about it. So if a woman was competing in men's sports and won, you'd
probably hear about it.
But that's my whole point.
But they're not winning, so you're not hearing about
exactly.
it. Because they were born
So
women.
why is it always men going into women's areas, which is what should bother feminists, and dominating something that's supposed to be for a woman?
Because of
Are you asking why that's all we ever hear about?
No, why is that all that there is?
Well, we don't know. If
we do know there is. I guarantee if you looked it up right now, you wouldn't find one case
Well-
where a biological woman went into a men's sport and dominated.
No,
the
not dominated. That's what I'm saying.
Period.
I
You got your
agree.
answer right there, right?
Yeah.
So
because they're not dominating, that's
No,
why we
that's
don't
not even
hear
my
about
question.
it.
No, I know.
My question is, why doesn't this bother more women? Why do women? Why these are women's rights we're talking about?
Yeah.
Now you're shredding them for a man that thinks he's a woman. Why is that?
You have to ask.
I think
you
maybe
have
it
to
does
ask the
bother
women
most
that are
women.
upset.
I
You
would
have to
think
have
it
a
does
women
too.
on and ask them.
Yeah.
We should have some.
You're
women
asking
athletes.
for men. I mean,
Yeah.
For cis men.
how women feel
For
about something.
cisgender males in the room.
Who you
Asking
call
you guys.
cis?
Well, let's sum up this video, but my opinion was it was absolutely disgusting what they're doing to their kids. It should not be anywhere considered norm because they are screwing these kids who knows how badly by raising them this way.
Right. Potentially screwing themselves in the future. Maybe the kids.
Do you have any opinions that differ from that?
That's why I say. That's why I was saying I'd like to see these kids in the future too, and see the aftermath of this and their opinions on it.
I can see where there are issues with it from before they get into school, but I'd love to with art. I'd love to see what happens because here's the thing, right? If you do that here, I 100% would agree with you that they're probably gonna get blowback in school, right? I have no freaking clue what the Swedish school system is like. Maybe they don't have bullying like what we have. Maybe
the mother-in-law or the mom was worried about bullying.
Yeah,
she even said she wouldn't be surprised if one of the kids got punched in the face.
Sure, but were they throwing around some word called?
But she wasn't Swedish either.
Probably not. The mother was there. That was
the grandmother was Swedish.
Yeah, the other partner was from Sweden, and that was her mother.
But she also probably hasn't been in school in 50, 60 years.
Did you pay attention to any of the video?
I didn't hear the accent with the grandmother.
I heard it. But I would love to see the retrospective, right? Just because,
this is why he really doesn't want anyone talking. Yeah. He just wants everyone to agree with him.
No, I want to hear opinion, but you don't give it.
That's fine.
Because you don't even hear the video.
What?
Exactly. Ridiculous.
But yeah, man, if they ever post here's where they're at 10 years later.
It'd be nice if we could actually hear the video through the headphones while we're watching it.
We all could hear it.
I all heard it through the.
Yeah. I had them off, but it's still not easy to hear.
Oh, God. Okay. Anyway, if you got any opinions on this or if you think we're right or wrong, by all means, let us know in the comments. Thank you. Thank you for watching Two Studs and a Dud. Please like, subscribe, and share this video.